friends, Audrey Henley here, and today I'm doing a little blog, a writing check-in, just letting you know what I've been up to this October so far. It's been a really productive month. I know that my last video was a vlog as well, but I'm just really excited about all the stuff I'm getting done and I want to brag about it, so that's what this video is. So stay tuned. Hey friends! Today is Tuesday, October the 2nd. Right now what I'm doing is outlining my story again. So I basically have a draft zero. I haven't finished the end, but it's happened to me before where I have trouble figuring out the exact end. But I have gotten through my draft zero and I'm at about 52,000 words. I am an underdrafter and I suffer for it. So I have no words to cut this revision round. I have words to add. So I'm jumping right in rather than taking that break you usually take when you finish a draft, because I want to get in all the words and help make it more of like a 70,000, 80,000 word manuscript. So I'm going to keep working on it. But before I just jump into drafting again, I thought the thing to do would be to redo my outlines. Sometimes I make multiple outlines, which is a little strange. I know not a lot of writers do that, but I'll show you what I mean and why I'm doing multiple outlines. And outlining will take me a couple days, I think, and I already have an existing story, so I'm sort of filling in these outlines and figuring out the places where I'm missing information, and then I'm like, oh, that's where I need another scene, or I need another interaction that serves this beat in the story, things like that. That's what this process is really for. It's interesting because I feel like I'm doing prep-tobery things even though I'm not doing NaNoWriMo, but it happens to be this part of my manuscript where I really need to do some outlining stuff before jumping back in. I might start, drafting again, or at least writing scenes to get my word count up before November, so I'm definitely not exactly sticking to that schedule, but it's just fun that I'm doing some organizational stuff when I know a lot of my other authortube friends are doing Preptober, so I kind of like that. I'm really enjoying all the festivities around Preptober, and October is such a fun spoopy month. Here in Minnesota it's already getting a little cold, but it's fine. Everything is fine. Okay, so I'm gonna scoot the camera a little closer and I'll show you a little bit of where I'm going with my outlines. I'm just showing you my Word document. We're going there. You get to see all the mess, all the fun, all the greatness of my drafting process. So I have two documents here. I have my main working document and I have a prep document. So in this prep document, I call it story name, whatever that name is, extra. So this one is Ghostpocalypse Extra. So this is a document where I put cut scenes, but I also put outlines. I also have a list of crutch words and things like that. So here on the side, you can see some of the things I have. So I'll put miscellaneous, like things I'm researching. So like PTSD, I have to do a lot of research on for this manuscript. And then I've got big changes, so I've got a list of changes there to make. And just miscellaneous things, some character outlines. But then we've got outlines starting down here. So as you can see, I have four separate outlines, which I call the Hunger Games outline. And this is just something I got from a site. I'll link it below. I've linked it in another video as well. But I just bought the ebook, Romancing the Beat. So I'm going to be borrowing an outline from that. And then I have Save the Cat Writes a Novel, which I'm going to fill in. So Hunger Games outline is pretty close to Katie Tastic's 27 chapter outline. So that's what I usually use, and I really like writing chapter by chapter. But Save the Cat Writes a Novel is, the tried and true classic. So I usually can't start writing with that outline, but now that I have a story, I'm going to start getting more specific and using that outline. And Romancing the Beat, I'm going to turn the camera back to me now. So I bought the Romancing the Beat ebook because I really want to get the romance right in this revision. So my first 2 books, really, they had romance. They all had lots of romance, but none of them had a romantic arc throughout the entire story. And they didn't have like a happy ending. So you couldn't consider them full-on romances. This one I wouldn't call a romance either. It doesn't follow a lot of the tropes, but there is a romance throughout the entire manuscript, and they do kind of end up together at the end. So yeah, I need to hit all those romantic arc beats because it actually is a big part of the story, and it's how my protagonist grows. Part of it is through a relationship with another person. So that's the first time this has happened in a book, and it sort of happened organically. Like, they weren't supposed to end up together, and then I was like, okay, they have good chemistry, and then I was like, oh my god, kissing scenes are the best. So that's where I'm at. That's really what got me to 50,000 words. It's being excited about the romance. So yeah, it kind of got away from me, but I swear there's some other stuff. There's some other plot in there too. Not that a book needs that. It can just be a fun romance. So yeah, I'm doing the Romancing the Novel beat sheet outline. I'm not sure what she calls it, because romances really do have a different narrative arc, because there's 2 characters you're focusing in on, and the romance arc kind of runs parallel to the overall narrative story arc. So it's good to have them be 2 separate outlines, in my opinion, because there is a lot of other plot stuff I have to deal with. So I'm going to use that Save the Cat outline and also Romancing the Novel outline. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. I'm hoping that the Save the Cat outline will give me an idea of where I underdrafted a lot, or maybe I just it could say, you know, I could have all the beats, but I just didn't fill in enough description, in which case like the whole book will seem deflated. So it'll just mean going like in on the whole story and adding more description, which honestly wouldn't surprise me, because I did have an outline starting out. So it's not like I had an outline, friends, and I just wrote too fast and didn't get enough words. I'm finally writing again. I guess it's the big thing. If you've been following my writer journey, I don't know, it's just been tough to get words on the page. I had a big copy editing project, and yeah, before that I was sort of stuck. So I've pretty much written the end of my novel from start to finish. The thing is, I kind of left a Swiss cheese. It was like filled with holes all the way throughout. If something was too hard to write, I moved on. And so when I got to the end, I was at about 51,000 words. And I think that's a-okay. I was really upset about it at first, but I think I just have to keep adding scenes. And I went to a Barnes & Noble the other day, and I just sat down and started typing. And I got 1,500 words in that day, and I was like, okay, hooray, I still have more things to add to the story. And it was an important scene that I feel like added a lot of emotional depth to my characters, so I'm excited about it. And I've written, I think, like 500 words today. I'm getting there, and I'm just really happy to be getting words on the page again. So hooray! And then a little update on October goals. I did finish one, which is a mood board, and I posted that on Twitter. Maybe I'll put it up here too. So it's not the prettiest thing, but it's probably the best mood board I've ever made. And yeah, just keep trying and getting better. And yeah, I'm trying to get better at like sharing what my story is about and being more open. So that's what that's all about. It really focuses on my main character and someone she has lost. And so it's not her current love interest, it's a person she used to love and who died. So it's kind of a sad board, and I'm not sure why it ended up like that. I think honestly because my main love interest has really long black hair, and there aren't a lot of male models with long black hair. Most of them, if they have hair, it's like here. It's not like, I describe his hair as being to his elbows, so not a lot of male models that look like that, especially public domain ones. So put the kibosh on that and just focus on the two girls because it's a lot easier to find pictures of girls with blonde hair. It just is. So I realized that I went to Barnes & Noble to write. And of course when you go to Barnes & Noble you don't leave without a few books, at least I don't. So yeah, I'm gonna show you some books. I'm really bad at borrowing from the library because I never know when I'm actually gonna read something. I know that I want to read it eventually, but I just really hate, you know, living in a metropolitan area. There's always a long wait list for any book worth reading, and so you kind of have to just read it when you get it, and that really doesn't work for me. So I do tend to buy a lot of books and then resell them later or keep them or whatever, but I do own a lot of books, and I'm not like, I have the bookshelf you see in my videos is the only one I have, so that's where my books go, and if it's overflowing then I have to get rid of some books, but I do keep some physical books. So yes, I have another book haul. So the first book I have here is Toil and Trouble by Augusten Burroughs, and it is brand spanking new. It was on the newly released table. I think I've read everything this man has written. I just love Augusten Burroughs, and Running with Scissors. Not to get you too worried about me, it reminds me a little bit of my childhood, which was very hectic and crazy and full of interesting characters, so I just really relate to his writing style, and I feel like I've gotten to know him as a person because he's just written tons and tons of memoirs. So yeah, it's like new Augusten Burroughs book, I'm buying it. I'm a little mad because on Instagram once he posted about his tour date for his last book, and I was like, hey, you should come to Minneapolis, and he wrote back and he's like, next book, and there's no Minneapolis on his tour, so I'm upset. But anyway, still love his writing. And so this one is about how his mother told him when he was young that he was a witch and that he could like tell things were going to happen before they happened. And it's kind of like his other book, Magical Thinking, if you've read that. And this one to me is a lot more like a collection of essays rather than like one narrative arc, which is a little different from his other stuff, but I'm enjoying it so far. So I'm about that much of the way in. Next I have Zero Repeat Forever, which has a lovely metallic finish there. And then the back has some spot gloss. I guess the front does too. It's like spot gloss on those very thin letters there. It's really interesting because the paperback looks a lot different than the hardcover version of this book does. So the hardcover has like a black cover. I'll show it up here. Whereas this one obviously is green and has that YA trope of the one girl against the world in a ravaged landscape. I'm so worried that if I ever get my post-apocalyptic book published, that's what the cover's gonna be, because apparently you can't have a post-apocalyptic without like one person against the world. Like, that's the cover. But it did signal to me, hey, it's kind of post-apocalyptic, which I didn't realize, and I had been wanting to buy this book for a while, so I was finally like, okay, it's in paperback, it's at a better price, so I'm gonna snatch it up. And the premise to me sounds very, very similar to The Fifth Wave, so I'm excited to see like how it's the same and different from that series. I'm currently reading The Infinite Sea, which is the second in the Fifth Wave series by Rick Yancey, so yeah. Next, I bought The Golden Compass by Philip Pullman, which is part of His Dark Materials series, and I think the first book might have been called His Dark Materials in the UK. So this one's a classic, and I've just been hearing a lot about the HBO series, and I was like, this is a classic I've never read, so it's time to pick it up. So I did. Picked up Truth Witch by Susan Dennard. It was used copy, but it's hardcover and in really good condition actually. And I started Susan Dennard's Something Strange and Deadly series. I listened to the first one on audiobook. I was really into it because it was about zombies and it was steampunk, so pretty cool, right? And I figured it was time to start the Truth Witch series already, so decided to pick this up. Okay, so that is my book haul. I'll let you know what I think about those, but ooh, so I finished Permanent Record, which I had in my last book haul. Here is Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. And I just want you to take a look as I open this jacket. So the jacket here is like see-through, clear. So when you take it off, it reveals like the protagonist is this guy here. And this woman is clearly like the celebrity he's dating. This book is basically about a normal guy dating a celebrity. So it's really cool because, you know, there are times in the story where they're really close like this, and there's other times when she's just a poster and he's like walking the streets of New York and they're very separate. So I really like the fact that there's sort of two covers to this book. It's just really neat. I enjoy it a lot. And yeah, this girl here is actually part of the see-through part. She's not actually on the cover. So yeah, really interesting. I'm curious what they'll do if they do a paperback version. Yeah, so gorgeous design. I was not disappointed. I really loved Mary H.K. Choi's Emergency Contact, and this one was just another follow-up. It was good. Really voicey. It actually took me a little bit to get into Pablo's head. He's the main character, and like get used to it, like, because it's so voicey, and he's a little more like not as likable as the characters in Emergency Contact. But once I got into his character and understood how he was thinking, I was so into it, and I think the payoff at the end was really good because you really got to know and understand the main character. Yeah, so I guess I just wanted to check in and let you all know that yes, I've been working hard, and I've been loving all the Preptober videos I've been seeing. I'm really proud of you all for working hard and getting ready for NaNoWriMo. I'm here to cheer you on. I'm not exactly prepping for anything, I'm still drafting, but I'm trying to work hard too, and I'm getting inspired by everyone else. So that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little bell thing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.